Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Splash, or Ryan, whatever the heck you want to call me. Just call me Happy right now. And let's start over to Jack. How's it going, Jack?
It's fantastic. I really enjoyed last night. That was really fun. Like you know, it was a good night when your team's not picking in the first round and you're still just hooked. Like I was attached to this thing like crazy. It was fun. It was entertaining. Teams made a lot of crazy moves.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pulling up a video right now. I just sent it to Jack in the workplace. I'm trying to pull it up on screen, but we're going to talk about draft later. We have two guests backstage right now, but
I know what this is.
Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
I know exactly what this is.
So, actually, Jack, you give some context because you watched this live with us.
I was, and I wasn't on the show last night. I would have loved to come on, though. It looked like a lot of fun. And Splash said, and I think he actually said this before on the show in the past, that he would be banging the table for Rashad Bateman to get drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. So this is what happened when that happened.
I'll play the clip right now.
You for the 24th pick.
Absolutely. And I'm watching the live stream of the Ravens take someone. I'm going to reply to a comment in the chat. Rashad Bateman! Yes! That is good. Okay, anyways, I'm going to compose myself. So I wanted to go back.
I want people to know, I don't know if they can see me, but I took my headphones off of that.
Oh, man.
I've never heard him yell like that before. He was hyped.
Yeah, we've done this is our 16th show together. I'm pretty sure it's our 16th show, unless I screwed up counting.
It should be 16.
I hope it's 16. Now I'm sketchy about it.
We're self-conscious about it.
Yeah, today should be.
It is 16. It is 16. I just scrolled. We're good.
Last week's 15. Okay, awesome. So now I don't have to look at my phone again. But endless excitement last night. I was producing that show for 4 hours plus, and I was on for the last hour to see Baltimore make two picks. Again, we're going to get to the picks later, but I bet you're wondering at home, my friends and family, Jack's friends and family, you stadium viewers, why is Splash wearing a Cavs jersey and a Cavs hat? And I would be wearing Cavs socks, but I couldn't find them. I'm wearing a Kevin Porter Jr. jersey. And if that's not significant to you, I understand. Just skip ahead a few minutes. He had 50 points and 11 assists last night. He's 20 years old. He's my age. I just turned 20 in March. He had 50 and 11. No 20-year-old has ever done 50 and 11. Yeah, Julian in the chat. KPJ, 50 points. Yep.
Pretty crazy.
No 20-year-old has ever had 50 and 11. I want to give a shout out. He's one of my favorite players, and I know it didn't work out in Cleveland, but I'm happy for you, Kevin. I wish you the best of luck in Houston. I wish you could do that for the Cavs, but I understand the NBA is a business, and it didn't work out in Cleveland. Maybe one day. So, yeah. Anything you want to touch on, Jack, before we dive into some draft talk with our guests backstage?
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about how you were just wearing that in honor of LeBron coming back tonight.
Oh, yeah,
it is a pretty big deal, though, because this was the longest absence of his career. So this is, I don't know if he's more than likely going to be on a minutes restriction like Anthony Davis was. Mm-hmm. I don't expect that to affect him too much. Like, he'll slowly be building his way back up again, but I think he should be in good form in time for the playoffs. So I'm happy about it.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty happy. I mean, obviously I'm happy it's LeBron coming back. So
yeah, and he's one of the greatest players ever. Even if you're like, oh, MJ's better, LeBron's still on your short list of greatest players to ever live. So I think that's the important thing you boil it down to is we're getting one of the best players in basketball back. Is it tonight or is it just soon?
I think it's tonight. They have him as they upgraded him to questionable, but I think Shams tweeted that he's coming back tonight. So
awesome. Well, it's not questionable, the excitement we had last night. So we're going to bring on two special guests. One is making the Sports Desk debut. The other was on back when we were actually talking about his team in the draft. Back, I don't remember when it was. Maybe it
was a while ago.
Yeah, maybe the middle of February. We wanted to talk about friend of the show, Mike and Trevor Lawrence, and also Justin from he was on the Pick Six pod. He is the co-host on the on U Stadium on the Clock, and he was on the show last night. And I'm gonna have to take down the banner while we have 4 people, but a lovely banner made by Jack, by the way. So
Made by Henry made that, and I just kind of tweaked it, and that was Henry.
Okay.
So
okay. Anyways, how's it going, Justin? How's it going, Mike?
Good. How are you excited for today?
Mike, you're obviously doing good. You got Trevor Lawrence, so
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the
I'm
wrong
sure we'll
button.
get to the later pick in a few, but definitely excited about the first one.
There we are. I did I screwed up the colors for a second.
oh boy.
Anyways, so we're gonna jump right in. Pick one, round one. Pick one. Trevor Lawrence, QB, Clemson. Mike, I'm sure those are 4 of the greatest words you've ever heard in your life, like
Yep.
all together.
I mean,
Like-
just been waiting on it. Sorry to cut you off, but I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
since week 17, just the build up, of course, knew all along, even though
Mhm.
some people were convinced it'd be Justin Fields for no particular reason. But yeah, it's definitely exciting. You know, got our new franchise quarterback in. I'm thinking year one, it's going to be a little slow, not expecting too crazy of a performance, but steps for the future, definitely.
Absolutely, and I'm sure I stand with Jack here, and that's an A. That's an A. Like
Definitely.
you get a generational quarterback. Like
We've said before, he might already be the greatest player for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the
It's
greatest
close.
quarterback.
It's close. I mean,
Yeah.
Mark Brunell, definitely probably the second best, but there's definitely that expectation that he will be one of the best or the best player ever on the Jags.
I mean, we've known since the moment he committed to Clemson that he would be the number 1 overall pick in 2021. So I'm pretty sure that's all that really needs to be said about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to number 2. For the world, it was pretty simple. Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. For the app, and I know for Justin, for you, there's a lot of people that don't like the Fields pick. A lot of people in the Jets organization, like the fan base on U Stadium, were like, no, give me Fields, give me Lance. Or a friend of the show, Alex, said, give me Kellen Mond.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That's a little excessive. I love
Yeah.
Alex, but I mean, it was a joke, obviously.
So
But
how are we feeling about Zach Wilson in the division there, Justin?
I mean, it's like I said, I've said this multiple times. I would have taken Fields. I would have taken Lance over Wilson as well. I see a lot of comparisons to Darnold. Like, you know, he can make some outstanding plays. I think he'll be better than Darnold too. I think you basically I guess you could call Darnold the poor man's Wilson, if that's what you want to call it. I don't think Wilson will be quite the turnover machine that Darnold was, but I do think he's definitely going to struggle in that department over at least early in his career. A lot of people like to argue, oh, he only threw 3 interceptions in 10 games last year, but there were I was watching the tape, there were a lot of really questionable decisions that I saw, and just like kind of turned me off from him a little bit. Like Justin Fields, I just thought was the more accurate passer. He's the more polished passer. He's more athletic. He's got incredible arm strength. I mean, 62 yards on a rope with pressure in his face during the Clemson game. But Wilson is not a bad pick. I want to reiterate that. As much as I have made my disdain for picking Wilson over Fields clear, I do want to say that I don't think Wilson is a bad pick. I would give it probably B minus, C plus, somewhere in that range. Would go higher had Fields or Lance not been, you know, in this draft class.
I think we'd mentioned before on the show too, like Splash. I think we talked about it. How you could kind of pick Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, and it's not really like a loss either way.
Mhm.
Like he was like either of them arguably could be the second best quarterback in this draft. So it's like you can't really lose with either one.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Jets kind of landed. That whoever they choose, I'm going to feel worse about, because I love what Shanahan does with San Francisco. And this is I said on a show that Justin Fields will be the MVP of the NFL if he's drafted by San Francisco. I feel very similarly about Trey Lance, and if Zach Wilson ended up in San Francisco, I'm of the same opinion that Zach Wilson would be. Like I thought San Francisco was getting a guaranteed superstar unless they got Mac Jones, because Mac Jones I don't think has that superstar level potential. We'll get to Jones later. But this was always going to be a situation that I value the spot more than the player here. Wilson's higher on I had Wilson as QB2, but I think the Jets. I think the Jets got a good player, and he's always going to be compared to Fields and Lawrence and Jones and Trey Lance. But I think at the end of the day, the Jets did get a good player. So let me just update that grade. So what grade do we want to give Mr. Zach Wilson today? I'd say an A, A minus. Justin, you said a C plus, B minus, right?
Yes. So probably somewhere in between. If we're
I'd probably
talking
go B
like a
plus.
Okay, we'll roll with a B on Wilson, and let's move to pick number 3. That would be another quarterback. My man Raj, our SF 49ers, check out our show tomorrow for a super in-depth breakdown. Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. How are we feeling about Trey Lance? Trey to the Bay, boys. Trey to the Bay. Jack, you start us off. He's in your division.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm worried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
You should be.
I probably should be, honestly. I mean, we do have a pretty solid defense still, despite losing some pieces. But Trey Lance, I mean, this is a huge pick over Mac Jones. Like, you're getting somebody who's probably, like you said, MVP worthy. And you put him with a guy like Kyle Shanahan. That's absurd. That's a crazy combo. And then San Francisco already has all those pieces on offense. Like, you could probably make a good argument that they were a quarterback away last year. Well, last year there was all the injuries too, but I mean in the years past too. Like, imagine if this guy was playing for them in 2019 and then they play the Super Bowl. I mean, who knows? But you have guys like Deebo Samuel. I'm losing name. Kyle Juszczyk.
Ayuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did Kendrick Bourne end up? Is he a Jet?
Kendrick
Or
Bourne?
I think he might be on the Pats.
Oh, you're right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Raheem Mostert is who I was thinking of. I always get his and Deebo's confused. I don't know why I forgot one. But anyway, who else?
I mean, Kittle. I don't know if you brought him.
Kittle, yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's not forget George Kittle.
Yeah.
I don't know why my mind's
only a
blanking
top
on
2
this,
tight end. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's definitely not forget George Kittle. But yeah, bottom line, this team is pretty stacked. NFC West is going to be good as usual. This is a huge pick, a huge upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah.
Jack, do you think the Seahawks finish last? Do you think it's a possibility?
Yes. I'm not going to say they do, but I think the possibility is definitely there.
All right. So what do we want to give this? I'm leaning like an A minus. Not quite Lawrence, but around an A minus.
I'm giving it an A. I've been telling probably all year San Francisco Trey Lance is a perfect match. It needs to happen, and I'm so glad that it did. That's an A. That's an A easily.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Okay, Mike.
Yeah,
Tiebreaker.
I'm with the A bandwagon as well. I mean, back when it was going to be the Jets with the first pick, I wanted Trey Lance for the Jags. So my family likes the 49ers. I'm happy for them. I might be buying a jersey, hopping on that little bandwagon, but definitely a good pick.
All right. Let's move on to pick number 4.
I feel really self-conscious right now with that camera. Right up in my.
This was shocker. This was absolute shocker. Who is Kyle Pitts? Right?
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Only the best tight end prospect ever. I mean, if you can debate Vernon Davis, but wow.
At least with Davis, it was more the tools and the production. With Pitts, it was he was in the Heisman conversation until he missed a game or two. And oh my good, the traits. Oh Lord. As far as I know, he's the highest tight end ever drafted in the NFL. And Kyle Pitts, tight end, like we've said before on the show, Florida, number 4 pick to Atlanta. This is an A for me. I don't have to go into it. I know they have needs on defense. I would have loved them picking up, say, Surtain and Javon Holland later today. Of course, they can still pick up Holland today. but you're only getting one piece to add to that secondary. I think it's an A. You get the best player in the draft.
I'm gonna agree, regrettably, give it an A. But I say regrettably because I just hate it that the Falcons are inevitably going towards a rebuild, like within the next 2-3 years. Matt Ryan's on his last legs. Julio's on his last legs. Julio might be gone this offseason.
Yes,
You're not going anywhere with that suspect defense. They've really got to focus on that, today and tomorrow. But I mean, Kyle Pitts, I've said for a long time now, player one in the draft, easily, in my opinion, generational tight end prospect. But I just hate that he's ending up there. But, Atlanta made the right decision. They should, well, you could have argued that they could have traded down and gotten some defensive pieces. But, I mean, you can't really, it's hard to pass up on the best player in the draft.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Are we all in agreement that we give Kyle Pitts an A?
Yes.
Definitely.
All right. Let's
Definitely.
roll with it.
100%.
With the number 5 pick, this one, there were some split camps on. The number 5 pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals selected Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. They looked past offensive tackle Penny Sewell out of Oregon. That's what it was. It felt like the entire draft process. Chase, Sewell, Chase, Sewell, Chase, Sewell. They end up going Chase. Will they regret it? We don't know yet. We don't know. But I think they got a great player. I think I gave it a B+ in my initial grades. Incredible player. I think he's a transcendent caliber wide receiver prospect. I know, Justin, you're going to tell me why Devontae Smith is better in a second, but I think the sorts of things that Chase will do to the offense. I understand you want to go get protection. Hey, guess what? Draft Tevin Jenkins in about half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's an A and an A. I think if you go, I don't know, Terrace Marshall, then it might be a B and an F. Even though I like Marshall, but if you don't take a lineman at 38 in Cincinnati, what are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like they have to really focus on the pass protection part of it because, didn't you just lose Joe Burrow for the year?
Mm-hmm.
Arguably was probably going to be the rookie of the year before he got hurt, and pass protection is a big hole on that team. And you leave Penei Sewell on the board.
I think big hole is an understatement. I mean, their only decent offensive lineman is Jonah Williams.
That's fair.
But
Riley Reef is competent, I think.
Competent, yeah, but why
Is that enough?
No.
Why settle for competent when you can have borderline generational in Penei Sewell? I mean, I've been very, very vocal about this. I believe Penei Sewell should have been the no-brainer pick. And I mentioned on the show last night that I wanted to believe they were going to do it. I wanted to believe that they had learned their lesson. And
They didn't.
They didn't. So, I mean, woohoo, you got your Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow reunion, but it's I don't understand how you pass on Penei Sewell. I just don't. When offensive line is that big of a need, I just can't comprehend it. And I mean, for that reason, I'll give it a C plus B minus, similar to Zach Wilson. It's you're getting a great player. This is meant no disrespect towards Jamar Chase. He's a great player. I just don't understand the decision over another player on the board.
Absolutely. So, Mike, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, piggybacking off that, it's definitely more of a better option, I feel, to go Sewell because we clearly saw what happened to Burrow. But again, like what Justin just said, I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick because you're getting Jamar Chase, a great wide receiver. You see what they were able to do at LSU when they won the championship, but definitely think Sewell was the better pick. But it's not a bad pick either.
Absolutely. So I think would be in agreement if we give this a B, maybe a B minus.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just fix the B minus.
Yeah. Definitely not a bad pick. I don't know if I said it, but yeah, definitely not a bad pick. Just
Great player. Just I don't know. I think moving forward, it's going to be a good pick. He's going to be an awesome player, and I think you can get some of this day 2 offensive line depth. Humphrey, Dickerson, Jenkins still on the board. odds are one of them is going to be there when Cincinnati picks. So if you just draft one of those guys, you're going to get a very good player. I'm not saying you're going to get a generational guy, but you're going to get a starter level offensive lineman today. If you get Dickerson, you might have some all-pro potential there. If you get Humphrey, Pro Bowl potential. Jenkins, same Pro Bowl potential there. But I think just go offensive line today, and the Chase pick gets retroactively better, I think. So moving on, we got Justin's team. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama, number 6 overall. What are we thinking?
So listening to a press conference with Chris Greer and Brian Flores last night. They said that Jalen Waddle has been their wide receiver 1 since the beginning of the draft process, and they fell in love with him while scouting Tua when looking at him last year. So, I mean, apparently he was their guy, and I trust them. I'm glad they got their guy. I've been very vocal this entire draft process. I said at 6, it has to be a weapon. I don't care who it is, as long as it's one of the top 4 guys, those being the top 3 wide receivers plus Kyle Pitts. Jalen Waddle, incredible speed. That's the first thing that everybody's talking about. The only really complaint that I would have, Devonta Smith is obviously my wide receiver 1. And so you look at the receiving core, you got the jump ball specialist in Parker, you've got the burner on Will Fuller. I say, why not add the route running specialist in Devonta Smith to kind of, just round everything out.
Right.
But as we all know, the NFL today is a mismatch game. It's all about matchups, and Jalen Waddle will create matchup problems, and you can never have too much speed. So, as I've said, the entire time, if it's a weapon, I'm cool. And it was a weapon. Jalen Waddle will be a weapon for us. He'll probably replace Jakeem Grant on kickoff returns and punt returns, which I know will make Hotep very happy on the app. But I'm fine with it. I'll give it an A-, I guess, because like I said, the only nitpick is, I had Smith ranked higher, but you can never have too much speed.
Yeah, I was leaning between A-, B+, A-, B+, because I also have Smith above Waddle, and honestly, I would have liked to see Sewell go there, and kind of the inverse of the Bengals scenario, draft Sewell, add another piece to the offensive line, and then get a wide receiver like if one of the Alabama guys / Chase falls to 18, or you can get a Bateman at 18, Kadarius Toney if you trade down, although Toney ended up going 20, so trade down for Toney wouldn't have worked. But
Sorry about the background noise, by the way.
Oh, you're good. I do like the pick. I think he's going to be a good player, and I probably have it a B+ right now. Jack, Mike, have any qualms with Jalen Waddle getting a B, A-, B+?
Personally, in the whole process leading up to it, I thought either Jamar Chase, Waddle, or Devonta Smith were great options for the Dolphins. Just give Tua his weapon that he can go with. I think all 3 on the teams, they could have a Justin Jefferson impact. And honestly, I'd give it an A-.
All right, Jack, let's
That's
hear it.
about where I'm at. I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head there. You need a weapon. Like Justin said, you do need another weapon in Miami. So I think that really helps for sure. And hopefully Tua finds him a lot too.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be a pretty good connection.
I think Waddle can be a 1,000-yard guy from day one, just with the sort of explosive plays. I don't think he would be like a traditional 1,000-yard receiver. He's going to be I think he's going to have a lot of boom weeks, have a lot of bust weeks. Kind of compared to Will Fuller. Look at early Deshaun Jackson. He'll have games that was 4 or 5 catches, 120 yards. Then he'll have games 1 catch for 7 yards. I think there's going to be some of that with Waddle, that there's going to be some games that he breaks a tackle and poof, 80-yard touchdown. There's going to be some games that he doesn't break a tackle and it's a one catch, 14 yards. And I do think Tua, you have the rapport, Tua and Waddle. I know Waddle said that he preferred Mac, but I don't buy into that very much. But at a certain point, you have the rapport there, like you do with Chase and Burrow, and I think you're going to find some spots in the field that Waddle will be very, very successful, and he's going to get a lot of yards, and he's going to score a lot of touchdowns for Miami moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, one of my favorite picks of the draft. Number 7 overall, Detroit Lions select Penny Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon. This was an A+. Like I was covering them on U Stadium. Make sure you subscribe to the app, or download the app. And I was just writing down, okay, A+ for Lawrence, A+ here, A+ here. And then when I got to Sewell, I had to readjust all my previous ones and said, this is a definition of an A+. This is awesome value, position of need. You're getting a franchise right tackle because they have Taylor Decker at left tackle. You're getting a franchise tackle, and it's a glorious day to be a Lions fan. A+ from me.
Jared Goff is probably really happy about that one. Yeah, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. I mean, like you said, generational player. I think he's gonna do wonders for Detroit. Who like this is probably like Detroit is a team that's definitely going to be rebuilding for sure. Like obviously you trade for Jared Goff, you trade Matt Stafford away, you're going to be rebuilding. And they have said before that they have confidence in Goff, and who knows, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but either way, you definitely build up that pass protection. You're going to make your quarterback really happy with that pick. So that's absolutely an A+. I love it for Detroit. I'm just afraid to play him next year too.
Yeah, easy A+.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any debate there. You should have gone this into. That's all I'm gonna add.
All right, let's keep it moving. This one, I think this
We
is
have
the first...
250 until that's at least what my screen says, until the draft resumes. So
Okay, we're gonna try to pick up the pace a little bit. Number 8 overall, Carolina Panthers select J.C. Horn, Justin cornerback 1, cornerback out of South Carolina. I love the player. I think it may be a tad early, but I love J.C. Horn. And Carolina got a really good corner today or last night.
I agree. The only this is another great pick. I only have one complaint thing, and that complaint is again, there's another player on the board I think they should have taken. I'm an outspoken critic of Sam Darnold. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. Justin Fields was on the board there for Carolina to take, and I believe Fields would have thrived in Carolina. I love what they're building down there with Matt Rule. I believe he's a great coach, but you can't complain about the pick other than you could have taken this player. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot here in this first, especially this early with this very top heavy draft. So it's I guess this is just probably just why I'm not a GM. So, these guys they know what they're doing. J.C. Horn probably, fits their plan. They probably want to just give Darnold a shot. And, there's a lot of quarterback talent, coming out. There's a lot of guys in college. If Darnold does indeed turn out to be trash, spoiler alert, yes, you can just replace him soon enough. So I give it an A-, maybe an A.
Yeah, I was leaning A-. Jack, Mike, you want to toss your grades in, and I'll just update the ticker real quick.
A.
I'd go A-.
Okay, so we'll roll A- for Mr. J.C. Horn. With the 9th pick in the draft, Denver takes Patrick Surtain, cornerback out of Alabama. Again, I think this is a tad early for me. Justin Fields is sitting there. Denver.
2 cornerbacks, by the way, taken in the top 10 this year.
Poor Dallas. They should have. I'm pretty sure they were counting on one of those guys falling to them.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And then Philadelphia trades up, and
I assume that's the only reason they traded down with Philly, because they wanted one of those 2 corners and they didn't get him.
Yeah. But Patrick Surtain, I like this pick for Denver because you have to remember this is a team that's going to be playing against Justin Herbert twice a year, Patrick Mahomes twice a year, and
my man Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr twice. I was trying to build up the hype a little bit, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's Derek Carr. That's not really. I mean, he's decent, I suppose, but yeah, I mean, when you have to play Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes twice a year. And I mean the Raider offense, I guess you still shouldn't underestimate because they have. They still have Darren Waller, right?
Yeah.
So they should still be solid. So it's a good defensive pick. Mm-hmm. It's just Denver, I would say, has probably a little bit of a glaring hole at QB because you don't really know what you're going to do there. It's probably going to be Drew Lock, but is Drew Lock going to be reliable next year?
No.
Probably not.
No.
So I would have taken Fields here.
All right. We have a trade at 10. Philadelphia Eagles, an interdivision trade, nonetheless. Philadelphia Eagles trade up, take Dallas's spot. The pick is Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. I'd imagine, Justin, this is an A+ for you.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw. I don't know if you guys saw this post last night, but right after the pick, I was like, "Wow, the Eagles finally took a good wide receiver." I believe he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver from day one. He's going to absolutely torch the NFC East. You know, some of the weaker defenses in the league. And I love the move trading up to get him. You know, be aggressive, hop your division rival. I honestly don't understand what the Giants are doing, targeting him. I don't believe receiver is that big of a need for them.
Me neither.
But you know, the Eagles obviously saw that the Giants were going to do it, and they decided, hey, let's be aggressive. Let's go get our guy. Let's make up for last year. And I believe they did make up for last year with this pick. This is a great pick. I give it a straight up A.
Mike, Jack,
I'm on the same boat as that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm same. I'd give it an A.
All right. So I'm going to jump down a little bit. We're going to come back because we got to talk about Justin Fields. But you mentioned that Philly jumped a division rival in the New York Giants. I heard a theory last night that when the 14th pick came up, the New York Jets decided, the New England Patriots really want Elijah Vera Tucker. So we're going to trade up 9 slots and jump them for New England, or jump them for Vera Tucker. And then New England panicked and took Mac Jones. Do you guys think that theory holds any water, that the Jets would leapfrog a division rival to like take a guard?
I'm not sure because
I mean,
I remember reading somewhere that Mac Jones was the pick all along.
Okay.
I feel
I'm not
like
sure
Mac
if that was
Jones
true, but
I kind of have a feeling that, and like you never know with Belichick, but I kind of have a feeling that that the Patriots wanted to take the highest QB available, whether it was Jones or Fields or whoever would have been available. And it just so happened that it was Mac Jones. So I just feel like that's what happened there.
But
All right.
I mean,
I just wanted to throw that out there while I was.
We have bots taking over the chat now, by the way.
want to become famous? Buy followers and viewers at link.
Use Stadium. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be funny. All right, we're going to jump back. Justin Fields, Chicago trades up 9 slots, grabs their quarterback. This is an A+. Like, I don't want to say A++ because I have a pick later that's an A++ for me, but because I think they gave up maybe a little too much. They did give up a 2021 first, and I would be hesitant because you're going to have much better evaluations next year. But you got my QB3, a lot of people's QB2. I think it's an A+.
I mean, you're giving up a lot for this guy, but I mean, he's your quarterback of the future, basically. This is like when I'm not gonna say exactly like, but this is kind of like when the Rams traded all those picks for Jalen Ramsey. It seemed like a lot, but it's worth it because you see what Ramsey's been doing for them as of late. This is I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to compare a cornerback with a QB, but it's like this is that kind of deal. Like you're trading all these picks, it's a lot, and like you said, we might have to wait a little while to evaluate it down the road. But at the end of the day, you're trading for your QB of the future. This is absolutely worth it. A+ in my book. This is for once a great decision at QB by the Chicago Bears. Not something I never thought I'd say in my lifetime. So
I just looked up like Bears QB history. Their best quarterback is probably Sid Luckman, who played in the 40s, and behind that it's probably between like Jay Cutler and Jim McMahon. So I made a joke last night. I was like, wow, he's best quarterback in Bears franchise history already, but that might not be a joke.
Yeah. I mean, at least with like the Jags, we talked about it with Lawrence. 1, Lawrence is a generational prospect, and 2, the Jags have been around 25 years. The Bears are one of the most historic franchises in football. Like they are associated with the NFL.
Aren't they like the oldest team in the league? Or the second oldest, something like that?
Tied with the Cardinals.
Up there.
Yeah.
So it's like linked at the hip to football, and they have yet to have a competent quarterback. Like out since Sid Luckman, if you go even since the merger, the Bears haven't had a 4,000-yard passer. And I know that's a pretty stupid cutoff. I'm aware. But
it says a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot, and with especially nowadays when everybody throws for 4,000 yards. Like Joe Flacco was throwing for 4,000 yards several seasons. Like, you have average quarterbacks that are firing for 4,400 yards nowadays, and the Bears have never had a guy get to 4,000. I think Justin Fields. It might take a few years, and he's going to have some rushing production as well. But I think Fields might be the first guy in their franchise to throw for 4,000 yards. Again, arbitrary cutoff, I understand, but there is something to having nobody with 4,000 passing yards. So any last minute thoughts before we move on to Dallas?
Shout out to NFL Phil on the app. He's had a profile picture of Justin Fields in a Bears uniform for like months now.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Shout out to Phil.
There you
All
go.
Shout out to them.
Dallas, 12th pick, take Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. I really like it. I think Dallas said we're going to improve the defense, and I think they improved the defense with this pick.
I agree. I mean, the only really nitpick you could have here is the character stuff, which I thought was like really weird, in all honesty. But
very,
I mean,
very on point for the Cowboys.
true, true. I mean, at the end of the day, all football teams care about is what you're putting out on the field, and he's putting some very good stuff out on the field. So you can't really complain about it. I give it an A minus.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they trade down because, like we said earlier, I think they're really definitely targeting the top two corners. So it's a good pick, but I think it is also kind of settled. But, I mean, it's a good player, going to help them. I mean, like you said a couple of shows ago, they're historically bad on defense, and definitely getting a player like that's going to help them out.
Any words,
Yeah.
Jack?
I'm basically right there on the same boat. I think this is a great pick for them. A plus, or not A plus, but A.
Yeah.
For sure.
So now we're moving on to a pick that I actually have as an A+. Wrote it on my board. The Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater, probably a left tackle, Northwestern. Slam dunk pick, best player on the board. Like easy. Well, yeah, easy A+ for me. I think you get like 8 spots of value for that, and that's really hard to do in the top 15. So
Phil's in need too.
absolutely. So
Definitely a win.
yeah, I don't think we have to spend much time on that.
Yeah. I was
Definitely.
expecting Darisaw to.
My only complaint is the team should still be in San Diego, but that's for another day. So
All right.
that's a beautiful pick for them. A
So I
plus.
mentioned it earlier. The New York Jets traded up 9 slots, gave up, I think, 2/3, right, for Elijah Vera Tucker. Probably going to play guard out of USC. I like the player. Don't necessarily like trading up, especially when you look at what Minnesota got at number 23. We're going to get to that. But I love the player. I understand he was in the top 10 of some boards. The Jets cohort on the show last night were raving about the Vera Tucker pick. And like I understand, but at the same time, I think it was a tad rich for me, and I would have gone Christian Darisaw there.
I actually like
it's
this
a
pick for them.
definitely.
Sorry, you can go ahead.
You got it.
I've been
you got
talking too much.
it. All right.
I mean, all right.
It was definitely. I mean, most users on the app were very big on Elijah Vera Tucker, and you were talking about the guys on the show yesterday definitely being big. I think it was definitely the right move for them. I didn't think he'd be available for them at 23. So going up, I think it was actually more pressing for the Vikings to move down. You brought this up a couple of shows ago that I think in your mock draft that, I mean, they have nothing in the late end. And
Yeah, they don't have
I
a
mean,
second round pick. They
dealing
still
with
don't
Kirk.
have a second round pick.
Yeah. But, it's up in the air really with Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. But you don't know if in coming years they're going to be looking to, change some things up with the whole organization. So, I mean, getting picks, moving back, it's more pushing for them to move down. But I think the Jets going up the grab wasn't a bad move at all.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but
Yeah, I was very surprised that it was the Jets popped up on my screen.
yeah, I was like, they're jumping at that
Whoa.
many spots. Like,
I'm surprised they didn't give up a first to do it. Like that was,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been a terrible move had they did, but
Right.
9
Like,
spots,
I'm
2/3.
thinking, is Washington trading up for Mac Jones? That doesn't make any, would they really? Or is like Indy trading up for Darisaw? And it's like, oh no, they're coming up for Elijah Vera Tucker. But anyways, they did jump their rival, New England Patriots. Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama, the 15th pick. I have really begun to fall in love with the fit here. And I said this on the app in the middle of the night, and I wanted to just put it out there and leave it. I said, Mac Jones and Cam Newton are 95% of the same quarterback. And I just let it sit there. I woke up to like 3 comments saying, what? So I'm gonna defend that. So I'm gonna clip this and post it on the app later. Watch Cam Newton as a passer. Now, as a runner, they're obviously very different players. Mac Jones is a statue. Cam Newton is a threat to run the football. He is a guy that you can put the ball in his hands and have success. But as a passer, what do Cam and Mac Jones do well? Not the deep stuff. Neither of them can really hit. Like Cam was accurate on deep balls, but that was more of a sample size thing than him actually having deep talent. Mac Jones, hilariously not great arm. So you're going to attack the short to intermediate range. Both of them do that very well. Both of them are very intelligent players. This is one of the reasons why I have Cam as one of the greatest quarterback prospects ever. His only concern is he had 1 year of production at Auburn. But between the ears, he is as smart as any quarterback I've ever seen. And Mac Jones is that guy in this draft, if you will. He is the game manager, high IQ, all the cliches, all the things that apply to Tom Brady, all the things that apply to Peyton Manning in the brain. I think Mac Jones does that. The decision-making is good. He doesn't have the arm talent. He doesn't have the athleticism to be an elite quarterback. But what he does do is he hits his spots. Short to intermediate accuracy is good. He makes good decisions in general. And I think Cam, if you're writing down a list of what his 2020 can do, well, it's everything falls in line with Mac Jones. I think this is a tremendous fit. You have Cam this year. You do have a little bit of the added rushing throw with Cam, and then you can have this offense that I think is going to work really well for Mac Jones. I think the Patriots can get back to the playoffs in the next couple years.
Before I talk about Mac Jones,
let's hear
before I talk about Mac Jones, I just want to make it announced, I guess, on the show that the Jaguars are on the clock, so we're underway for day 2. So yeah. I can tell. I just heard Mike walk into the room with the TV. So
I had to run out my room real quick.
I've been on record saying that if Mac Jones is going to be successful anywhere, it's going to be New England. So it's really hard to gauge because I'm not necessarily a fan of the prospect, but I love the fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I think I'm in the same boat there. Like Mac Jones was 49th on my board, so end of the second round grade for me, top of the third round. And I mean, I think in terms of value, New England reached, but he's a quarterback, so you kind of have to reach. And I think the fit is almost seamless. I know people are going to say, well, they're not the same quarterback at all. I beg of you to watch the Patriots play football and compare it to what Alabama does. And I think there's some Belichick Saban that says, connection that said, hey, Mac would fit really well in your offense. Hey, there, Bill. And I think Bill's like, okay. Or some inaudible mumbo jumbo that we mere mortals cannot understand. Moving on, one of the most exciting players in the draft, Arizona selects Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. I think it's a little reach, but you reach on a really good player and Zaven Collins.
This is not a reach, actually.
Ooh.
This
let's hear it.
kills me. We need a linebacker in Arizona. Just got a better one.
I say it's not a reach. I say Zaven Collins is a top 10 player in this draft. I love Zaven Collins.
Whoa.
Where's the hot take, Commander?
Yeah, let me find it. Okay, continue and I'll find it.
I've been on record since God knows how long. I say I love Zaven Collins, but the thing is, I hate the fit. I hate Vance Joseph. He's going to ruin him. And, he didn't necessarily ruin Isaiah Simmons, but, they couldn't figure out what to do with Isaiah Simmons, and that's why he struggled as a rookie. I have a feeling we're going to see something very similar here in Arizona with Zaven Collins because he's another very versatile guy. He's not, I can play 5 positions like Isaiah Simmons can, but he can play outside, he can play inside, he can cover, he can rush the passer. He doesn't necessarily have are they picking right now, Mike?
We're still haven't sent it. Actually,
Okay.
I think we just did.
I think
Yeah,
I thought
we
I heard
just sent
Goodell
it in.
saying
I'm
with-
watching
with
on
the-
Hulu. It's a little behind.
Yeah. But
we just
going
sent it
back
in,
to
so.
Zevin Collins, like I love the player. I just hate the fit. It's the exact opposite of Mac Jones. So I wish he went somewhere else. In all honesty, I mean, if they get rid of Vance Joseph and hire a competent defensive coordinator, then hopefully it'll end up a little better. But I mean, I give it an A because I love Zevin Collins that much.
Yeah, he's definitely a versatile player, like you brought up. But I again agree that they're not using Isaiah. They didn't use Isaiah Simmons the right way, and
There it is.
bringing a similar skill set player like that, we'll see how it works out. But if they can get both of them going, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you already have guys like J.J. Watt on that pass rush. I mean,
Yeah.
Arizona's looking a lot better for sure. I think Arizona's more likely to finish last in the division than Seattle, but they're definitely improving for sure. So
Zayvon Collins is a top 10 player. You're starting to push deeper into that hot take-o-meter. I don't want to say Carolina Reaper because I love Zayvon Collins, and maybe Cayenne. That's a pretty spicy one. That's the spiciest take we've had so far. Actually, I think my Mac Jones take is probably a little higher, but I explained it as well as I think I can. So here we are. So the number
Here we
17 pick. I think the Raiders went you see the Carolina Reaper, you see out the top, then just double that and quadruple that. They have a guy with more memes on his phone than quality NFL. Whoa,
oh
Mike, what happened?
boy,
we got
wait,
a live
wait.
reaction.
Don't spoil it. I'm about to see it.
I'll say it when it goes. I'm probably going to be doing most of the picks here because I'm not really as much of a draft nut, so
Okay,
it'll
Yeah,
keep me
don't worry.
talking at least. But
okay. Alex
tell me when.
Leatherwood has more memes than quality snaps at the college level. On the ESPN graphic yesterday, it said he had over 1,000 memes on his phone, and he was considered a meme connoisseur.
is he one of those NFL meme page people guys
That would be so funny.
on
But-
Instagram?
Mike, I gotta ask, what's your gripe with Tyson Campbell?
Yeah, here. I'll just say it right now. 33rd overall
Uh,
pick, Georgia cornerback Tyson Campbell.
Wow.
Yeah, the theme has been to go speed, but I was thinking it was a given to be JOK, especially with him slipping. I'm not the biggest fan of this pick. Yesterday we haven't gotten to that yet, but wasn't the biggest fan of 25 either. But you go in free agency, you sign Shaq Griffin, you have CJ Henderson, and you're tripling down at 33 with corner, who I don't necessarily think is even the best available.
I would agree with
Miami
that.
last year picking Igbinoghene in the first round when you have the two highest paid corners in the league.
Yeah, it's similar. Not to that extent, but
Somebody say
yeah,
highest paid corner in the league.
I was hoping for JOK. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Definitely
we got a live
interesting, though.
reaction. And Justin, were you on the show to talk about the
Yeah.
Jalen Phillips?
I was, yes.
Okay, because I forgot. But number 18, Miami takes Jalen Phillips, edge out of Miami of Florida. I think he's a top 10 talent. It's just the injury concerns. There's a chance that he doesn't play a game in the NFL if he just randomly retires because of concussions. So obviously there's some risk there, but I think Miami got an exceptional player at 18.
Yeah, Miami's been, we've seen it a lot over the past few years. They don't give a damn about health concerns. If the talent's there, they're going to take you. So I'm not necessarily sure if I agree with top 10 talent. I think he's got a little bit more room to grow. But I said probably about a week before the draft, right before the Eric Flowers trade, that it's probably going to be a weapon at 6 and edge defender at 18. And that's what it ended up being. So I like the pick. We definitely needed, somebody to complement Emmanuel Ogba so he's not all alone on that line or on the edge. But I think it's a good pick. He might even replace Ogba. His contract expires this year. I would love to have Ogba back. But I give it a B plus, A minus, not bad at all.
I'm in the same avenue, around an A for me. I thought it was one of the better picks. And then this is, to me, where the drafts just started to go totally off the rails.
Oh, true.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
I-
always.
so I'm gonna like group these 14 picks together. Not all. I'm not saying they're bad players. All of them were in the top 100 on my big board. I think all of them can be very good in the NFL. But some of the value here, I think you could have gotten some of these guys on day 2 if you want to trade back or trade up from your second round spot. And this chaos starts with Jamin Davis, linebacker, Kentucky, heading to the Washington football team at 19. Check out Alex on the app. He didn't like it. Good player. I'm a little lower on him than most, but I can acknowledge he's a good player. At 19, a little steep for me.
Before we get into Jamin Davis, I just want to say it just came out that the Jets are not going to trade pick 34. They're going to select the player.
Yeah. They've got like
It has to be.
Yeah,
Tevin
they
Jenkins,
lucked out
right?
with
It's got to be. It's got to
Yeah.
be.
has to be.
Because I know Jenkins had some hip concerns, so that's why we're not actually talking about Jenkins on tonight's show unless he gets picked right now. That I guess he has some injury concerns that teams were looking at because the film pops. Like there are talent evaluators that I really respect. I had him as a top 20 player in this draft, and here he is sitting at the top of the second round, and that's I guess some injury concerns, and it sucks for Tevin because you just throw on his film against Texas. He is a mean man.
Yeah.
And actually, I think we broke it down on episode 1 of the on the clock pod. We broke down Tevin Jenkins is a bad man, and he's might be a Jet here in a couple minutes. But Jamin Davis, very good player, super athletic, 19.
I actually remember reading that Jamin Davis was very high on a lot of teams' draft boards, like higher than most like media evaluators had him at. So I think it makes sense. I like the pick. I think there are a few linebackers who are a bit better than him, but it's not a bad pick by any means, in my opinion. Like you said, just a little bit of a reach for me.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Did they just make the pick?
I think
Pick number
that's right.
34. The New York
Yeah.
Jets select Ole Miss wide receiver Elijah
Whoa.
Moore.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay. I was not. Okay. I see it. Elijah has a lot of
I'm not-
juice.
Not opposed.
You guys
Yeah,
know
I'm
this
not.
means,
I'm
right?
not really like opposed to it. And then like him and Zach Wilson.
You guys know what this means, right? Tevin Jenkins to Miami at 36.
Oh, my
Oh boy.
What? And you could have gotten him I would have
Could be.
drafted him at
I'm getting
18, in
Connor.
all
Shout out
honesty.
Connor.
Wow.
Oh,
And
man.
Atlanta's
Shout out
not
Connor on
going
the app,
tackle at
but
35.
He's blowing up my phone right now.
He knows. He knows.
Wow.
All right.
All right. We're gonna keep it rolling. Last 13 picks here, then we can watch the draft in peace. The Giants at number 20, they traded down. Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, Florida. I don't understand why. Like, I understand that you want to surround Daniel Jones with talent, but you do that at 11. But trading down and you're out of the top 3 plus pits, I didn't see it here. I would have taken a defensive player, whether that's Kwity Paye, who went 1 pick later, or another edge, like the bevy of edges that went at the end of the round. I like Toney. I think Toney can be a good player in the NFL. I don't really see it in New York, though.
I agree. I think they should have gone Darisaw, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair too.
'cause
Although
he was-
I'm very high on Matt Pert.
Falcons just traded
Yeah.
pick 39.
Oh, don't. Not trying to interrupt you. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
Cincinnati traded up?
Since he
Oh,
traded, is that Cincinnati?
Is
The
it
Bengals
Cincinnati?
traded?
Yeah, the
Whoa.
Cincinnati definitely
I
just
just know
traded
the
up for
Falcons
an
traded.
offensive
The
line.
Falcons traded.
Cincinnati has pick 39, right?
Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos.
Whoa.
That's a shocker. I didn't
Where
think
they
they'd go
going?
Broncos.
Because
Wow.
they could,
Maybe they're trying to jump. They might be trying to jump Miami.
they could
Uh-oh.
go. Well, imagine if they went. Imagine if they did the thing I thought Atlanta would do and got Surtain and
Oh.
Javon Holland, or your boy.
Creed.
No, the safety.
Oh, Cisco.
or Richie Grant.
Oh,
What did they win? What did
Is
they
it-
win?
if it's
safety?
Richie
Morig-
Grant,
Morig
I'm
is
gonna
still
have
on the
to
board,
sign
too.
off.
Oh, that's okay. That's true too. I
And
totally
Morig is still
forgot.
on the board too.
Ooh, Sertan and Moreg. That would be quite.
They don't need any more.
That'd be
secondary
something.
help,
I mean, they don't, but you're. Are they trading him for a quarterback?
though. I don't understand why you need to trade up in that case.
Yeah,
I
that's
doubt
true.
that.
No,
Oh my goodness.
nobody's really thinking too much about QB at this point.
I mean, I know Davis Mills. Some teams have him as a second round grade.
Yeah,
Like he could be a guy we see if we were on this show for like 3 more hours. He's a guy that we probably see, but I don't know. I think that's a little weird. We're gonna run through these last few picks, dragging along here a little bit.
quickly.
Yeah. Darius Toney, Giants. Quiddy Pay, number 21 to the Indianapolis Colts. Caleb Farley, number 22 to the Tennessee Titans. I really like that pick. And then we're going to pause for a second. My favorite pick of the entire first round, this is an A++. Minnesota takes Christian Darrisaw, a guy I thought they would have taken at 14. They trade down 9 slots, add 2 third-round picks, and get the same guy. It would have been an A. It would have been an A+ at 14, a double plus
Definitely
at 23.
They won the first round without a doubt.
Amen to that. And that's a
Definitely.
special pick there. And actually, if you go back, this was a tremendous draft for the NFC North outside of Green Bay. Because you have all of the Aaron Rodgers controversy. And then you have the Packers. I don't want to say they screwed up the pick, but you have the Packers not taking a wide receiver. And then A+ for the Bears for Fields. A+ for the Lions for Sewell. A++ for Darrisaw and the Vikings. Then we have double running backs. Pittsburgh takes Najee Harris. Travis Etienne goes to Jacksonville. We'll come back to Mike on that. Greg Newsome goes to Cleveland. Rashad Bateman goes to Baltimore, as we played in the clip earlier. Peyton Turner goes to New Orleans. Eric Stokes goes to Green Bay. Gregory Rousseau goes to Buffalo. Did I read those in the wrong order?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo at 30. Baltimore takes Jason Oweh at 31. Tampa takes Joe Tryon at 32. I'm going to jump back to Mike. What are you thinking about Travis Etienne as a third down back for your Jaguars?
So, but makes sense, not the pick. So we can go back to the U mock. Shout out you, Justin, for hosting that. I went with Felton from UCLA in the 4th round because I agree that we need to, save James Robinson a little bit. Can't have him doing everything. So I agree, but just with who's available and you're drafting in the 1st round a running back that isn't your primary running back, you just want him as a third down back. It did not make sense. I gave it a D. I mean, he's a great player. We saw it all in college, but I'm just getting interrupted by the Broncos pick. I don't know if you guys saw it, but yeah, no,
I'm waiting on it.
I was not for the pick at all.
All right.
Oh,
One
come
guy-
on.
For the Broncos, it is UNC RB Javonte Williams.
They definitely knew Miami was going to take him and said,
that's
he's
cool.
ours. Screw you guys.
Now you can get Creed
Yes, it has
or
to be
JOK.
Or Creed or Jenkins, please. One of them.
Anyways,
That's
one
unfortunate.
of my great picks. I guess I'm not
Really quick,
Go
by
ahead.
the way, if you're gonna give Travis Etienne, I forgot how to pronounce his name. But if you're gonna give that a D, I'm happy because that's the pick that we gave you guys for Ramsey. So
all right, we're
Yeah.
gonna Najee Harris.
I definitely
Pittsburgh.
would hope it was more impactful.
unfortunate there.
We got Najee Harris, running back, Alabama, going to Pittsburgh. I would have slammed the table for this. For the Steelers, I think they opened up their Super Bowl window. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to think, what was I doing right after the Ravens drafted Rashawn Bateman? Oh, I was saying how the Steelers could win the Super Bowl. So that was that's going to be a really fun moment to think back on. Speaking of Bateman, Minnesota wide receiver Rashad Bateman heading to Baltimore. I just need to figure out what number he's going to wear. So I can be rocking his jersey in a couple weeks.
Could be a single digit number.
It could be, or I think the rumor was maybe not a rumor, but like what could happen is Devin Duvernay switches from 13 to 6 because he wore 6 in college, and then Bateman wears 13. Of course, he can't wear 0 like he did last year for Minnesota, and he can't wear 13 because Devin Duvernay has it. So there might
And
could be
does Duvernay
some
want
changing
to? Does he want to like pay? Does he want to buy out his currently existing inventory or not? That's
true.
his choice.
Maybe Duvernay like gets Bateman to do that. Like that. Maybe that's a part of the deal. That hey Rashad, I know you want my jersey, but part of your rookie deal goes to paying for it. Like okay,
That's a lot of money for a rookie deal, though. I wouldn't bet on a number change, but
who knows? Now we talked about it going off the rails. The last 5 picks, I think these GMs are on crack. Like this is Chris Forrester territory. Shout out to the Jags. This and Dolphins. Peyton Turner to New Orleans. I had him as my number 97 player. That's a 69 pick gap. Nice. Eric Stokes to Green Bay. Good player. Good player. I don't have any qualms with the player, but Aaron Rodgers is threatening to retire. And what is the Packers' response? Eric Stokes, cornerback, Georgia.
what is it with the Packers, man? What is it with the Packers and their drafting choices?
Mike, are you laughing because of the Dolphins or this whole talk we're having right now?
I won't say anything.
With the 36th pick, the Miami.
Wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay, we'll finish up the third round, or we'll finish up the round, and then we'll go back to the Dolphins pick.
Jeez.
Gregory
I don't want to
Rousseau
interrupt real
Buffalo.
quick, but I'm on 1% right now.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to
go ahead
sign
and
off.
walk
I
out.
appreciate you guys having me,
Thank you, Mike.
but yeah, I'll definitely try and tap in another time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Thanks for coming on.
We'll see you soon.
Javon Holland
Yes.
is the pick at 36.
I said he was going to go to Denver, not Miami. I'm intrigued. I mean, when I look at Miami's roster, I don't think you know what they need. They need a safety. They need like a nickel safety or like a guy that can play both corner and safety. No, I'm not saying that at all. That's weird. Speaking of weird, Greg Rousseau, Jason Owe, Joe Tryon, 3 like swings at like a future edge, and I think the only one that hits is Tryon because Tampa is in a situation that they don't need immediate edge production. Buffalo does, Baltimore does, and you got 2 guys that maybe in 3 years are going to be your good edge rushers. But Rousseau is so raw. He has 1 year at any sort of level. He just freshman tape at Miami, opted out last year, and then Jason Owe has been playing football for 5 years. And a lot of guys in the draft have been playing football since they were 5, and I said on air yesterday, one player I wanted Baltimore to take was Rashad Bateman. One player I didn't want them to take was Jason Owe. Is it Rousseau or Owe, but Rousseau was off the board. So take Bateman, don't take Owe. They took both. So it happens. But Javon Holland to Miami. I'm
not rocking with it. I wanted an alignment bad. I don't see how you pass on Tevin Jenkins or Creed Humphrey there. Good player. Just it's another one of those like, why didn't you pick this guy instead situations.
Absolutely. I think
Those
funny.
situations are frustrating as well.
So I'm on the ESPN page. Guess who, follow round 2 live, pick by pick analysis. Guess who, the header picture is for that?
I'm not sure.
For the ESPN thing?
Yeah. Just take a guess. What good prospect would you have as a header heading into today?
Probably JOK.
Jack,
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, JOK.
Davis Mills.
Of course.
Oh, boy.
Got to push that quarterback agenda. Shout out to
QBs.
Shout out to Frank from the app for just trashing every analyst that says anything about quarterbacks. Frank is one of the funniest guys on the app, I swear.
For sure.
Also, the Bengals traded down to the Patriots.
Yeah, it's the Bengals traded 38 to the Patriots.
Wow. Have the Eagles taken a player yet?
The Eagles did take their player. I don't know who it is yet, but they
I
did.
could probably
pick.
find it.
Okay, because it just says on the clock for me. I think we're
NFL
gonna,
TradeRumors.co says it's Landon Dickerson.
Yeah,
there you go. That's really
Dickerson for
a
Eagles.
great player. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Justin, thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure as always.
Of course.
Now my
Glad to be here.
screen's frozen, so that's cool. Jack, of course, it's a pleasure. 16
As always.
episodes, more to come. Why is my screen frozen?
It's good on our end.
Okay, like I think it's good, but like on my screen, I'm just like, and just playing with his hair. I don't know why my screen's frozen because I can't end the broadcast.
We're gonna wait for his screen to unfreeze.
You might be waiting a while.
Uh-oh.
I want to know if New England's pick is in.
Maybe the Rams will pick before you unfreeze.
I see Jack in the chat. Jack, what do you think they're doing? I don't know.
Quarterback. They're going to take a quarterback. Davis Mills.
I'm on
I
Twitter right
wonder
now.
when the
It's
last time a team took two quarterbacks in the same draft.
A few people are saying Barmore. I don't know if that's confirmed.
Oh, I'm
Let
intrigued.
me see.
I'm intrigued.
Trade Rumors says Barmore.
Yeah.
These guys seem to be like really ahead of us.
Looks like it's Barmore. That's a good pick. It's their Adam Butler replacement.
Okay, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show on my second laptop. So I'm going to keep talking, and I'm going to take myself off the screen. I guess I can't do that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next Friday, same time, 6:30 Eastern. We'll be back. Jack and I will be back. Again, thank you, Justin, for coming on. Thank you, Mike, even though you're gone now. So, any last words before we wrap it up today?
Check out On the Clock on Monday. We'll have a recap show. Check out Timeout on Thursday. Subscribe to the channel, download the app, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And my last thing I'm going to wrap it off with is Rams, please, for the love of God, draft either an offensive lineman or a linebacker. We need it.
So we're going to do a little secret talk here. You might have some trivia shows coming up on the U Stadium Live Network over the summer. I'm going to be free next Friday. Actually, right before our show, I'll have my last class this semester, and I'm free for 3 months. We might have some U Stadium trivia coming soon. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I can't do my usual peace sign. Actually, I guess I can.
Yeah, you can. I'll do my little.
And we will see you next week. Goodbye.